Two-component analysis of potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate sample using colorimeter. You are provided with a stock of potassium permanganate and stock of potassium dichromate. First, we are going to take the measurement of blank, which is distilled water, and adjust it till it's 0. Then we are going to prepare a standard of potassium permanganate by adding 3 milliliters from the stock using a burette to a 100 milliliter volumetric flask. Then we will add distilled water till it approaches the neck of the flask. Once it approaches the neck of the flask, you will add the distilled water using a dropper. Using a dropper, add drop by drop, slowly, till the lower concave surface is just above the mark. Now, stopper the flask very well and shake it and mix it to ensure equal distribution of the solution. Then we are going to prepare standard potassium dichromate by adding 4 milliliters from the stock using a burette into a 100 milliliter volumetric flask. Then we are going to add distilled water, using a beaker. Once it reaches the neck of the volumetric flask, you will need to slow down and use a dropper to add the distilled water. Again, till the lower concave surface is just above the mark. Now that you have prepared the two standards of potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate, each standard will be measured once at lambda 525 nanometers and once at 430 nanometers. So for each standard, there will be 2 absorbance readings taken. So first we have adjusted the colorimeter at 525 nanometers, and we will take the standard of potassium permanganate, put it in the cuvette, and you will have to clean the cuvette using tissue paper. Again, here we are taking from the standard potassium dichromate into another cuvette. You need to wash the cuvette using the solution before taking the measurement. Okay, so first we have adjusted the colorimeter at 525 nanometers. Then we are putting the standard potassium permanganate and taking the measurement. It's 0.32 at 525 nanometers. Then we are going to take the standard potassium dichromate and measure it also at 525 nanometers. The measurement is 0.13. Okay. Then we are going to adjust the colorimeter at 430 nanometers, but first we are going to take the measurement of the blank at this wavelength. Then we are going to measure the standard potassium permanganate at 430 nanometers. Measurement is 0.12. Again, we are going to measure potassium dichromate standard at 430 nanometers, and the measurement is 0.78. Then this is the sample containing a mixture of potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. For this sample, we are going to measure it once at 430 nanometers and once at 525 nanometers. So this is at 430 nanometers, okay? The measurement is A1, okay? Then here we are taking the measurement of the blank at 520 nanometers. Whenever you change the wavelength, you will have to measure the blank, okay? Make it 0, okay? So we will take the sample containing the mixture of both potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate and measure its absorbance at 525 nanometers, and this will be A2. Okay, so now that you have two absorbances for the sample and the absorbance values for the standard potassium permanganate and the standard potassium dichromate, first you are going to calculate the absorptivity values alpha 1 and alpha 2 and beta 1 and beta 2, and using those absorptivity values, using the calculations, you will find it in your handout or PDF that you will be given. You will substitute with these absorptivity values into another equation to calculate the final concentration of the sample of potassium permanganate alone and potassium dichromate alone. Okay, thank you for watching.